Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing well. All right, so today we're going to talk about this is on msn.com and we're going to talk about 10 phrases that narcissists, that's my hood in the back if it's distracting, that's my hood. 10 phrases that narcissists use when they're gaslighting you. Gaslighting, in case you're not familiar with that term, is when they alter your reality by saying something that does not represent what actually happened. They're trying to twist your brain. So if you say, well, earlier, I'm just using this as an example, earlier there was a really bad thunderstorm and it's just so muggy now. It never rained today. What are you talking about? Yeah, it did. 2 o'clock, it rained real hard. You don't remember that? That never happened. You know what? I think you're starting to lose your mind. I don't know where you got this idea that it rained because it did not. Yes, it did. The ground is wet. I'm looking out the window. I don't see that the ground is wet. I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm starting to really worry about your mental faculties. I'm really concerned. Maybe something's wrong with you. Yeah, you. You're the problem. So anyway, so they alter your reality. They try to make you think differently and differently than what reality is and everything else. It's just really, as I've told you before, they have brain damage. They have extensive brain damage. They are not going to heal from that. They can go to therapy if they want to get better, and how many of them want to get better. That's why I give Lee Hammock, Hammock, I think. I give him a lot of props because he has chosen to go to therapy. And he's been in psychotherapy for 5 years. But I mean, it wasn't an easy thing because, he had to lose his family initially. She took their son, and she was like, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this. You're a narcissist. And he said, you're a narcissist. And he researched and found out that he actually has the symptoms of narcissism. So she was correct. And yeah. So let's talk about the things that they like to say. You're being negative again. Here we go with you ruining my day. One explained that they were in a relationship with a narcissist. Whenever she brought up something that bothered her, to hold him accountable, he would reply, you're being negative again. Here we go with you ruining my day. I didn't deal with that per se, but with Skeletor, the previous narc, what I did deal with was, you haven't said anything positive since you walked in here. So, number one, my concerns were irrelevant, which you all know that if you've dealt with narcissism, they're toxic, poisonous. They're the cancer of our society, as far as I'm concerned. But no matter what happens to you, A, that's irrelevant. B, my job was to make him happy, which no one can make him happy because he's a dark cloud in his own life, and he knows that. So he's relying on other people to force him to be happy, which is like totally ridiculous. If you were almost hit by a car, or you were hit by a car, and you hobble in there to go see them. I'm having an issue with my eye, and I don't know what it is. It's driving me crazy. If you had an issue before you went to see this person, and now you need to go to the ER to get your ankle fixed, they'll be like, oh, there you go, being negative again. Here you are with a broken ankle. So that is called, no matter what happens, you're supposed to be happy. That is called, there's a term for that. It's called toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. So no matter what happens, no matter how bad it was, you're supposed to put a smile on your face, absolutely regardless of all of that. Your mom just died. Stop being so negative. Don't be upset about it. Why are you so dark and negative and gloomy? And then you want to punch the person in the face, and then they don't know why. Anyway, so let's get back to other. Okay, but it's perfectly okay when you do it. So they like to say that too. Another explained that after her partner resorted to deliberating and maliciously attempting to hurt her, silent treatment, boundary violations, blame shifting, playing devil's advocate, he replied, "Oh, but it's perfectly okay when you do it." She clarified that what he was referring to is her saying something he didn't like. She said, "The difference is I didn't say or do anything to be deliberately hurtful or malicious to him. Instead, I often express my hurt and frustration at him for not fulfilling obligations and not respecting the relationship's boundaries. I wanted to be heard, understood, and supported, which isn't going to happen with a poisonous narc. It's not. Look at you crying and playing victim. You wonder why somebody want to hurt them. Look at you crying and playing the victim," another volunteered. She elaborated that that was his response after his verbal abuse and yelling that resulted in her tears. You have a twisted way of remembering things. No. I remember the facts, and you have a version that doesn't make you look like as much of a jerk as you are. A second degree, same here. Or you'll always twist my words when was a word for word of what he legitimately said a second before. So, let me see what else. Continue, because there's a lot of... Okay. I care about your feelings, but your delivery was wrong. One person expressed that their former partner would claim to be approachable after discussing issues in our relationship, but that my delivery was wrong every single time. Another shared, "Me too. No matter how well I did or worded it, it was still wrong. I said a word the wrong way. I didn't have the right tone. I was XYZ. It was exhausting and frustrating, and it beat me down," which is the whole purpose of them doing all that. I don't remember saying or doing that. They have a convenient amnesia thing going on. And then it was up to me to prove that he did or said whatever I called him out on. Others agreed that this toxic behavior is standard gaslighting. Threatening a divorce. Another person explained how their ex-partner would threaten divorce if they attempted to establish a boundary or stated a need they were unwilling to respect. They elaborated that when they didn't behave in the manner their partner expected, their ex-partner would state, "I wasn't ready to be married." I'll tell you what, we could rectify this the next business day. How about we do that? You go ahead and get your lawyer, and I'll go ahead and get mine. Okay? Let's do that, since you want to keep threatening that. That's why I tell you, don't rush to marry people, because they're going to show their ass way before that. Don't even get engaged to them. You take your sweet time. You take your sweet time getting to know these people, because the mask is going to slip and the real them is going to show. They want to speed things up so that you don't see the real them. We talked about this before. So you don't speed up nothing. You pump the brakes. If they got a problem with that, they can get to stepping. Because ain't nobody trying to be in prison. A psychological prison. Ain't nobody trying to do all that. Okay. Oh no, that's not what I meant. After saying something horrible and mean and hearing me confront him about it at a later time because I was bothered by it, I would quote him, by the way, just repeating what he said or did, and he would say in a very matter-of-fact tone, "Oh no, that's not what I meant," as if it's my fault for misinterpreting his horrible behavior. It was before I knew what gaslighting was. It drove me crazy. "Well, that's what you said, and that bothers me." After that, the conversation would go nowhere. He'd never take responsibility. Another thing, as you guys know, and I word things a little differently, but another problem is you're never going to come to a resolution with them. You're going to have circular conversations that go around and around and around and around with absolutely no resolution, because they don't want a solution. They want to have their way, and they want to confuse you and upset you in the process. So you're going to have constant around and around and around, and it's just going to be, that's why you want to dump this person. You don't want to sign up for this shit. You always do this. Whenever we'd have tension, I'd ask if everything was okay. We should smooth it out if anything was wrong and get back to our usual oddball shenanigans. He replied, "You always take things out of context. You always read into things. You always have problems." Someone said, until I educated myself about narcs and gaslighting, I fell for it pretty much every time. Stop making a scene. Stop telling me there are problems that we need to smooth over. Just deal with me in the good times, brush the bad or out of the ordinary, right under the rug. Okay. Okay. The under the ordinary, under the rug. In other words, just anything that they don't want to hear, we need to just stop talking about that. Well, of course, because it's something they don't want to hear. Okay. And you are being too emotional. Last time we spoke after the breakup, I told him whenever I tried to set boundaries, he wouldn't let me. And he said, that's insane. You're crazy. You do this to hurt me. So these are Reddit pics, by the way. A list of gaslighting phrases narcissists use to manipulate you in relationships. This article is inspired by the internet and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of motherhood life balance. I guess that's, I don't know. This is on MSN, by the way, and it's called 10 Gaslighting Phrases Narcissists Use to Manipulate You in Relationships. I'm going to quickly go through them again. Number 1, you're being negative again. Here we go with you ruining my day, because it's always about them. Number 2, oh, but it's perfectly okay when you do it. Again, twisting things. Number 3, look at you crying and playing victim, because they don't. Your tears are really annoying to them. Again, reason to get rid of them. Number 4, you have a twisted way of remembering things. Number 5, I care about your feelings, but your delivery was wrong. Your delivery wasn't wrong. They don't care about your feelings. They're lying, which is typical. If they're breathing, they're lying. Number 6, I don't remember saying or doing that. Sure they don't. Number 7, threatening divorce. Don't play with me because we could do that. Number 8, oh no, that's not what I meant, which is a load of BS. Number 9, you always do this. Anyway, number 10, you're being too emotional. Like I said, this is on msn.com. 10 gaslighting phrases narcissists use to manipulate you in relationships. Yeah, and like I said, your tears are irrelevant, your concerns are irrelevant, you are irrelevant, how you feel is irrelevant. You've been talking negative since you walked in here because I'm a poisonous person. And since I'm a poisonous person, I have to rely on other people to get me out of the dark cloud that is myself. Oh, did I go there? Yes, I did. Yeah. So I hope that was informative to you. It's just like, oh my God, it's so taxing. And so in the beginning, all right, because I understand the concept of, but I love this person, because it's a lot harder when you get your emotions involved. Here's the thing though. You don't give your heart that easily, all right? When you feel, oh my God, what is happening? What is the problem here? What's happening? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to remove my eye and soak it in a jar. I wish it was that simple. Anyway, soak it in some soothing whatever and then, be done with it. I did have some stuff here, but I don't know where it's at. Some drops that I did have drops and I don't know where the hell it went. I saw we guys. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know where it went. Anyway, move right along. So you don't wait until you fall in love with this person. Number 1, don't give your heart that easily. Don't give your heart that easily. You have to use your brain over your heart. And when you feel like your heart is taking over and it's grabbing you and yanking you, you need to push that away, because once you get your heart involved, you can't see clearly anymore. You're not logical, you're irrational, because everything is going to bounce back to, but I love him, or I love her, I love her, I love him, I love her. And that's kind of crazy. So you have to let your brain override your heart, and don't be so eager to give your heart, because That is the goal of a toxic person, to have you give your heart and to fall in love with them. They'll never be in love with you. They're just faking because they're dead inside. Okay, they're robots. They're emotional when it comes to them, but other than that, they're garbage. Anyway, so use your brain over your heart, and that will help you a lot. It will help you a lot, because the lesser you're quick, I don't know if that's going to make sense. If you don't give your heart too quick, you can remain logical. And when you have bad times, when you have tricky times, when I'm so sorry, guys. I know that's driving you crazy. It's driving me crazy too. Always on a video, never not on a video. Well, sometimes I'm not on a video, but oh my God, it's driving me insane. Okay, so anyway, you have to use your brain instead of your heart. And you do have control over that. You know how you have control? You slow things down. We've been together for 3 months. We've got a soul-to-soul connection. We should get engaged, or we should move in. No, we should not. No, we shouldn't, because we just met. It's only been 3 months. So are you saying you don't have any feelings for me? Are you saying that when you said you had feelings for me and you care about me, that you were lying? That's manipulation too. Because if a person cares about your feelings and your concerns, which narcs will never do that, for a normal person who's not brain damaged, they are going to respect your decision. They're not going to be happy about it. Let's slow down. We only known each other for 3 months. Okay, I get it. Or I know I'm just kind of letting my heart pull me to the crazy page. I can't help it, but I just want to be with you like all the time. But I respect how you feel. That's what a normal person says. A robot / asshole / cold individual will get upset and try to talk you out of it. Obviously, you don't have feelings for me like I have for you, because if you did, you wouldn't be hesitant. You don't beat somebody up verbally to get your way, but if you're a narcissist, that's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you do. So you slow things down, and you learn to say no. And you say, I don't feel comfortable with that. Well, we should go out on an overnight trip Friday night. I don't feel comfortable with that. I just met you. Oh, so it's all about what you want then. If a person is coming off that way, there's your sign that you need to dump them, because they have zero. That is an inappropriate response to something. When you said no, that's an inappropriate response. What you say is, I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to going on this trip. But you don't beat the person up. You don't get verbally abusive to them. You don't yell at them. You don't say, I don't understand what the problem is. We have feelings for each other. What's the big deal? You're being a bully. That's what the big deal is. You're being a goddamn bully. That is not a healthy, appropriate response. It's not. Okay? You just have to say no, and you got to put your brakes on. You're just going to have to do it. Because if you don't, and you go full speed ahead, and you allow this individual to pull you where you don't want to be pulled, but you kind of reluctantly go along because you do have feelings for them, you're digging your own grave. You're digging your own grave. People have lost everything behind these bastards and bitches. They have lost their career. They have lost their lives. They have lost their relationship with their children. They have lost their jobs, if I haven't said that. They have literally lost everything. They have lost friends. They've literally lost everything. Do you really want to forge ahead that fast? Do you? Because you have to protect your future. You have to protect your heart, your body, your mind, and your soul. And you cannot allow this stress to hurt your body, cause you to have high blood pressure, predisposition to cancer, liver failure, bladder, kidney failure, all kinds of illnesses behind the stress of these snakes. So you damn Skippy, you better slow down and you better learn to say no, because that is when you find out who they really are. Even if they're compliant in the beginning, okay, well, I get it, I understand. There will be a point in time because they're going to start they're going to get frustrated, lose patience because they're not able to manipulate you because you've got your boundaries up, which is your best ammunition against them. There will be a point in time when they're not so polite anymore. I don't understand why you keep resisting. I don't understand why every time I want to do something, you don't want to do it. Now, mind you, do you say no every time? No. But you're saying no this one time when this person really anticipated sticking it to you mentally and emotionally. But you're raining all over their plans. And so that's making them mad now. There's your sign. Okay? So you get rid of them before you get engaged, before you get married, before you start popping kids out. You get rid of them. Because you don't want to dance with the devil, baby. And being involved with them is dancing with the devil. And your whole life is going to be ruined. Your whole life is going to be ruined. Do you really want to sign up for that? It's going to be a lot easier to break out boundaries than it will be to forge ahead and try to clean up the mess after you finally get rid of them. You don't have a relationship with your family anymore. You don't have a relationship with your friends anymore because you ditched them to be with this person because this person had issues with you being tight with them. You know why they have an issue with that? Because they can't get away with the dirt that they're going to do if somebody's in the background going, no, that ain't cool. You don't put up with that. No, that's disrespectful. That's rude as hell and disrespectful and inconsiderate. They don't want that. They don't want that. No family in the background, no friends in the background. I got to isolate you from everybody because when I do my filth, and I will do filth, I need you to be completely isolated from them so nobody's in your ear telling you how horrible I am. Okay? So, yeah, don't tell me that you in love. You got to stay in control of your emotions. Don't let them take you all over the place because it will be, oh God, it'll be the worst thing you've ever experienced. It'll be the worst thing you ever experienced. I talked to a guy on YouTube last year, which sounds so weird because the year just changed, right? And I'm a little warm. I got a sweatshirt on. Anyway, he met this woman. She totally misrepresented who she is, which women will do that to get the ring on the finger. I need you to think I'm the best woman in the world and we got to speed this up. So he fell for her BS. 3 months after they met, they got married. He regrets the holy hell out of that decision. So now he has to file for divorce. Good thing is, they haven't been together long enough for her to get any type of alimony, or the state of Missouri calls it maintenance. 3 months, you're not getting squat. In Missouri, I can't speak for other states, but in Missouri, you have to be married at least 10 years in order to qualify for any decent amount of maintenance. So 3 months, go ahead and ditch her. Ditch her before you get her pregnant, because once you get her pregnant, you're locked in even worse now, because she's going to use that kid against you and make the kid hate your guts, and it's going to be a nightmare from hell. Try to get custody, try to get you supervised visits because you're a horrible father, and the whole bit, okay? So you got to get rid of her now, like now. I usually don't tell people that, but I can tell you what you want to hear, or I could tell you how I really feel and what you really need to do. You need to get an annulment if it's applicable, or you need to just go ahead and divorce. And even better, you don't marry somebody after 3 months. You got suckered, you got played. You got played. You got manipulated. You got hoodwinked and bamboozled. You take your sweet time, because toxic people use speed as a weapon. We don't need to think about it. We're soulmates. We got to go. We got to go. Woof. forge ahead, like boom, let's go. No, we're not. We're gonna slow down. We're gonna slow down. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a rush. I'm not gonna be making any major decisions with anybody until I know for sure. And you're not gonna know after 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. You may not even know. Well, they're gonna reveal themselves eventually pretty soon. After at least a few months. If they're really good, it may take a lot longer, but you got to pay attention to the signs. You got to pay close attention to the signs, because Lee Hammock, who is a self-aware narcissist, diagnosed narcissist, he said the mask is heavy. That fake facade, the mask is heavy as hell, and eventually it's going to start to slip. And when it starts to slip, you're going to see real signs. When you see real signs, that's when you sit back and you go, okay. And you start watching closely. And you start using that. Instead of your heart, you use this. It's kind of like buying a house, right? It's a major investment in your future. Yeah? Okay. You're weak for the color blue. You see a blue house. You go out of your mind. They're trying to tell you all the key things the house has, has or doesn't have or whatever, but you don't hear nothing because you see a blue house and that's all you care about. Do you really want to make that big of a decision based on the color? What you see on the outside? You don't, right? You don't want to do that, because there may be plumbing issues. There may be foundation issues. Okay? There may be pest issues inside the walls. I mean, you don't freaking know. So you have to look at something other than the beauty of the color blue. You got to freaking focus on inside the house. Inside the house. Same thing with your relationship. Don't look at it from the external. Look at the inside of it. Are you being lied to, manipulated? And let's just do this. What does your body tell you when you're with them? What does your body say? Because what I tell you before, your body has a built-in alarm system. And when you're with someone who's poisonous, your body knows that, and your body can sense that. Your body can feel that, especially for women, because we have instincts. We can sense things. Guys are not necessarily great at that, because, I mean, I've witnessed women flirting with men, and they're so obvious. So obvious. They're doing this number, and they're laughing, and they're touching him on the arm, and they just keep flipping their hair and doing all this stupidness. It just looks so absurd. If they knew how silly they look, they'd quit doing it. Honestly. It was so obvious. So this has happened numerous times. So when the woman walks away, I've said to the guy, she's flirting with you, right? No, she's not. She's just real friendly. No, she's flirting with you. She's flirting her ass off. You didn't notice the body language? You didn't notice her touching you every 5 minutes? You didn't notice her laughing hysterically at everything you said and flipping her hair constantly? You don't think that's flirting? That's flirting. I just think she's a really nice person. Okay. And then later on, he'll be like, yeah, she was trying to get me to go to her house, or she was trying to kiss me, or she, asked me out on a date. Right. Did I or did I not tell you she was flirting with you? So we know things that guys don't necessarily know and can't pick up on. Okay. So you pay attention to your alarms in your body. Pay attention. The verbiage is not really mandatory. In other words, you don't need a diagnosis. You don't need to know, well, is it bipolar? Is it narcissist? Do they have, some other kind of illness? Do they have multiple personalities, which is dissociative identity disorder, used to be called multiple personality, whatever. You don't need to know the terminology. You just need to know that something about this feels off. This feels off. This feels wrong. It feels uncomfortable. There is something about being in this person's presence that is not right. That's all you need to know, baby. That's all you need to know. Don't worry about the verbiage and the diagnosis and is it this or that. That's not the point. The point is this person's a danger to you. This person is a danger to your life, to your future children, to your health, to your job. They are a threat to you everywhere you turn, regardless of the fake smile. Ugh. Follow what your body is telling you. Listen to your body. When your body cannot relax completely around this person, there's your sign. Pay close attention to that. Sharpen your skills. Pay close attention. And watch closely and listen to what they say. Watch their body language. Are they too flirty with people in public? Because I've been through that crap too. I mean, surgeons couldn't remove the smile from his stupid face when we went to the restaurant. Hi, how you doing? How's your day going? Hey, ting. Yeah, And I finally jumped his world. I eventually got rid of him because he was a horrible person. Nobody who means you harm is going to put you in harm's way. Oh, let me say that again. Nobody who means you well, I should say, will put you in harm's way. I don't know if I said that the first time. My brain's real tired today. I'm still recovering from this stupid whatever flu. Ugh. Anyway, move right along. No one who means you well is going to put you in harm's way. And when they are flirting with other people, they'd rather be with them than you. And they want to make you feel uncomfortable. There's no need for all that. You know what I should have said? I eventually dumped him. But what I should have said was, I'll tell you what. Can I get a box to go? Yeah, I need to pack up the rest of my dinner or lunch or whatever it is. And then I scoop it up and I get the hell up out of here. And I tell him, why don't you go ahead and go out with her? Because you're having a lot more fun with her than you are with me. So why don't you get her phone number and why don't y'all get together? Okay? Have a nice life, you fucker. And then grab your box and walk out the door. Catch an Uber or whatever you got to do to get home. That's what you do. I can't stand people. I really can't stand them. Oh, speaking of that, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I got to go. Anyway, there was a guy, I'll make this real quick. There was a guy that had an issue at the dog park. Long story short, he ended up hurting his arms because he asked people, can you guys hold on for a second so I could calm my dog down? They kept walking and pretended they didn't hear him. He couldn't control his dog. He didn't have the space or time. They would not help him. And he tore a muscle in his arm and ended up in the ER. Nobody helped him get to the truck, his vehicle. Nobody helped carry his bag and help with the dogs or nothing. He said, can somebody help me? I've hurt myself. They kept walking. This is why I freaking hate people. This is why I freaking hate them. They're so god dang selfish. I can't stand that. If I was there, he wouldn't have to worry about nothing. What do you need? Not because I'm a hero, but because it's common sense. Somebody needs help. You help them. If you're a narcissist, you're not going to help them. You're going to keep walking, which they might have been narcissists for all we know. Nobody normal does that. Someone's in a crisis, you help them. If you're in a crisis, you want someone to help you, right? Right. That made me so mad. Whew, my friend told me about that. I was so mad I couldn't see straight. I was really, really pissed. I said, that's why I can't stand people. That's that right there. Anyway, y'all do something kind for somebody for the upcoming week. It doesn't matter if you know them or not. Do something kind for them. Put a smile on their face. Let's put some love in the world, shall we? You guys take care. Bye-bye.